people coming in, but I'm gonna go ahead and start. Hello, everyone. My name is Mandy Thompson-Tobin, and I am a Goodwill Career Hub team member and also a success coach. Welcome to the Goodwill Olympics and Rainier Ridge Career Hub workshop. Today, you'll be hearing from Tyler Monk, who will be speaking on what's your why and why it matters. And our Goodwill consists of 15 county, it's a 15 county region, and we have been serving the community for almost 100 years. Before we hand this off, we would like to start with our land acknowledgement for our region. Goodwill acknowledges that the Digital Work Opportunity Center serves a region that is located on the traditional lands of many Indigenous nations. With this, we respect the long-standing relationships that Indigenous nations have to this land. As they are the original caretakers, we acknowledge historical and ongoing injustices that Indigenous people endure in the United States and accept responsibility as a community-based organization to contribute to correcting mistreatment as well as renewing respectful relationships and promoting the success of Indigenous communities throughout our teaching, resources, and community services. And just a few housekeeping rules before we start. This workshop will be recorded. The recording will be emailed to you, to all participants. Your microphones have been muted and will remain for the duration of the workshop. We will have a question and answer session, and also Tyler will also let you know, like if you have, he'll give you his things for the presentation whenever he starts. I think he said he would like to hear from you guys before the end of the presentation. So I'm going to turn it over to Tyler. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, Mandy, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I just want to say this. I see right now we have 24 participants on here. That's including myself, Mandy, Haley. Not trying to blast anybody, but I know those are the other folks that I know that are here from Goodwill, which means if my math is right, that's 21 other people that are attending this session. My encouragement to you is to understand this. Leaders do things they're not required to do, and they make decisions that other people aren't willing to make that typically produces other results that some folks are not able to attain. So with that being said, there's literally potentially millions of people that could be on this Zoom call. I mean, I don't know how big y'all account is. I know I got to pay the count, and shoot, they charging a brother like $50 to have a maximum of 100 people, right? So I don't know what y'all capacity is, but what I do know is y'all are doing something right now during this moment that you're not required to do to grow your capacity, your leadership, your mindset, and just to be the best version of yourself. So I'm humbly grateful to be here with you today. And I want you to keep that in mind as you think about this. Even though right now you might have walked into this, you got a lot of chaos going on in your life, a lot of challenges, a lot of barriers, whatever it is, I would just encourage you to kind of try to leave that right here to the side. I mean, you can pick it up or you can leave it when you get done. I mean, you could go ahead and pick it back up, but I would encourage you to kind of leave it right there and just dive in with us today. Because I'm very pumped to be with y'all. And so where do we start? I don't ever know where to start. It's always a different starting point for me. Today, we're going to talk about what's your why and why it matters. So I'm already going to ask you right now. I know Mandy said your mics are muted. I'm an engager. This is not a dialogue. This is a dialogue, not a monologue. This is not for me to just sit here and yap at y'all all day like I got all the answers. What I've realized in my experience of being an inspirational storyteller and speaker, I learned from each and every one of the people I interact with during these sessions. So my encouragement again for you, second encouragement, is to lean in and to share, to be as vulnerable as you feel comfortable. Because I know there's a lot of strangers on here that you don't even know. It's all good. I'm gonna share some stuff with y'all that I think I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna put myself out there on a limb, and I'm gonna share. And I believe that's how we learn and we grow. So what I want to ask, the first question I want to ask, and if you feel comfortable, you can, I know Mandy or, Haley, they can unmute you. You can unmute yourself, and if you want to share verbally, that's fine. If not, you can share in the chat, however you like to get down. I want you to share what in the heck, two things. What in the heck do you think we finna talk about? What's your why and why it matters? What do you think we're going to talk about? And on a scale of 1 to 5, here's what I tell my people every time I do a session. A 5 is, Tyler, listen to me. When they told me you were speaking, either I've heard you before, or I watched some of your videos, or I was just really inspired by what they said you were going to be talking about. I'm pumped. I'm a 5. A 1 is, look here, bruh. I'm low-key required to be here through my employer of some sort. I'm just checking a box. I'm just here. However you showed up today, there's no judgment. So you can share verbally, have a couple of people share verbally if you feel comfortable. And then I'd love for you to share through the chat if you feel comfortable there as well. Obviously, no pressure, no requirement, but I'm going to leave a moment of not silence, because I'm going to play some old school cuts. I'm an old school jams dude. You know, my mom's and my sister, my pops, they had me on the old school tunes. So I'm going to play a little Teddy Pendergrass and, Al Green, actually. Maybe Al Green. And I'm going to play this, and I'm going to give this about 1 minute, and I want you to think about your response if you want to share verbally, or put it in the chat, and then we'll come back in 1 minute, have 2 to 3 people share verbally about where you're at, 1 to 5, how excited, how forward are you looking to this session, and then what the heck do you think we're about to talk about? Share it in the chat or be ready to share verbally. Here we go.
May we do a video? Excuse me, may we do a video?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, you can, when it's time in a minute, I'm going to give people a minute to think.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm sorry, who is this?
Tom Danielson.
Oh, Tom. Okay, right on, Tom. Yeah, you can share in a video in about 1 minute. I'm going to give people some time just to reflect and think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1 minute. We'll take 1 minute.
Got it. Ask him if you can record. I tried to put it on record, and it said he would ask.
All right, a little bit of Al Green, old school. Thank you for putting these things in the chat. I'll refer to those in a moment after we have at least 1 to 2 people that want to just share their experience about why they showed up today. You know, why are you excited about it? Why are you not excited about it? Maybe you're like, man, I'm not excited. I'm just here. And then, what do you think we're going to talk about? So who wants to jump in? I know Thomas said he did.
Hi, this is Cindy. I'm hoping you're going to talk more about the why. I have, as I put in the chat, I had been listening to Simon Sinek recently, and he talks about that. And I'm hoping that you have your own version, and I would love to be educated around those concepts.
Yes, much love to you, Cindy. I thought I responded to you, but it did, for some reason my chat wasn't sending. Probably erring on my computer, but I love Simon Sinek. Like, he's inspired me to think about the why. You know, I've read his book, I've watched his TED Talks, I've watched this other clip that he was talking about, like specifically like social media and what it like does to our brains and all that good stuff. He's an incredible thought leader around. For me, he's like the first person I heard that like brought that concept to life. So yeah, Simon Sinek is dope. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I'm gonna share my verse. Hopefully it resonates. Okay, anybody else? One more person who wants to share verbally, and then we'll read some of these other ones.
Hi, Tyler.
Talonda.
Hi, it's me. It's me.
Ah,
It's me. I'm here.
hey, listen, me and Talonda grew up together, so Talonda knows the real, so she can verify these stories.
Yes, 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 yes. I saw you come across my Twitter and I had the time open on my calendar and I said, yes, I'll block out the time. I'll be here. I'll be here to support. Love you and your entire family. So I felt obligated since I had the time free and I usually don't. So I'm here and I'm excited to hear from you on today.
Talonda, I appreciate that. I know you've been doing your thing. I mean, I know we connected last time was probably at that barber shop when we just ran into each other and we were just talking about just different business ideas of what we was doing. But it's always love to see you. You've always been a great supporter and an encourager. And so I appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Shout out to you, Talonda. Shout out to Benson Tech. None of y'all probably really know where that's at. It's in Portland, but that's the high school we went to. Shout out. Shout out. Anybody else want to share before I read some of these other ones that are in the chat?
I'm with.
Tom, you were good.
I'm gonna write.
Thomas, is that you, Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas, go ahead, buddy. Floor is yours.
Oh, okay. No, I just really enjoyed how it went last week with Erin. She was really great. I got so much out of her. And so I this is a really good thing that you're doing for Black History Month. And so I'm just here to really learn. And so I'm glad to be here.
Thomas, I appreciate that. You know, I really wish Mandy and Haley, y'all would have put me before Aaron Jones. Come on, man, come on. How y'all gonna make me follow that? I mean, Erin is the reason I started doing what I'm doing as far as speaking, the underdog mentality. She's one of the main reasons, just because she's been an inspiration. So I just want to be very candid right now. I'm not going to speak a ton on Black excellence, Black history, Black culture currently. I mean, that's who I identify with. So I'm going to share my perspective through that lens. But I'm going to share a lot about anybody that's watching this right now, how you can take this and apply some of these things that I'm going to walk through with you guys on through that journey. So shout out to Erin. I love her. She's incredible. But man, I was like, can y'all have like had me the first 2 weeks and like let her rap? It's kind of like, if anybody know who's the Locks are, the Locks is one of my favorite rap groups. It's Jadakiss, Sheek Louch, and Styles P. Jadakiss is the best. Styles P second, and Sheek Louch is boo-boo. What's boo-boo mean? He ain't good. He should not be in the group. So Sheek Louch always goes first, because then you set up for the better people later. You see what I'm saying? And who's my brother over here? You keep showing him with the UW hat on.
That's Roosevelt, my best friend, Griffin.
Roosevelt, good to see you, my brother. Thanks for being here.
God bless you and yours in Jesus' name.
Oh, I hear that. Bless you, my man. Thank you.
Have you heard of Benny Hinn?
Oh,
You said what?
Have you heard of Benny Hinn?
I haven't heard of Benny Hinn. Who's it?
Yeah, I've been listening to him and he's pretty good, but you're good.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm gonna look into Benny Hinn. I'm a YouTuber. I'm gonna look him up. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's dive in. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. And I got some content. I know there's visual learners.
I don't know.
That makes sense. Can you guys see my screen now? Can y'all see that or no?
No.
Okay, 1 second. Let me navigate that. We'll get it going here. Oh, there it is. Okay, you should be able to see it now, right? We're good? Okay, Haley said we got the hands up. Okay, so what's your why or why it matters? So as I looked at the chat and I heard what you guys, what y'all shared about what we thought we were going to learn. We have Sheila that says, I'm a 4. I enjoyed watching your trailer a few weeks ago, and I'm here to learn more about, my why. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. This is all about you today. I'm going to share stories reflected around me because we're the best storytellers of our own experiences. But hopefully, as you're listening to my stories, you're playing these out about how they're articulated through your life. What else do we got here? Beth said, I'm a 3. Okay. Uwanda. I hope I'm saying that right. Uwanda. What is my why? I see what is the purpose in this world. What do I want to contribute to be in this world? That is important because it drives why I do what I do, how I behave, and how I treat others. Absolutely. And you're a 4. Shout out to y'all. Okay, let's dive in. I'm going to come revisit some of these things in the chat too. So at any point in time, if you just have comments, you have questions, you can throw them in the chat and I'll try to revisit them to the best of my ability. And then honestly, this is my contact information, well, my Instagram. And so you can send me a direct message on there, or you can get my email address here from Mandy or Haley. If you have a follow-up question and you want to connect, I'm all about connections. Listen, I really believe that true change happens through a process, not just in an event. And today this is an event. And next week, we're going to be doing another session around emotional intelligence. And that's going to be an event. Kind of a process because it's 2 things, but really it takes a lot of grit, a lot of perseverance, a lot of effort for us to really, get the change that we want to have out of life. So essentially what I'm saying is about 5% of people, when I say hit me up and reach out, actually reach out. So are you going to be the 95 or are you finna be the 5? Because I love to continue a conversation with you because I realize, your whole world might not change in this 90 minutes that we have together. Some of you, it might, others, it might take more time. But I'm here to really impact people and change lives. So let's dive in. Okay. Rubber band mindset right here. I made sure I had one. Can you see that little cute little rubber band? It's a hair tie. I got braids, so I just stole it out of my wife's drawer. So a rubber band. What's the purpose of a rubber band? It's to expand, to stretch, to grow, to hold things together. How effective and efficient is a rubber band when it's just sitting in your hand or it's just sitting on a table? It has no purpose. So this is our minds. Our minds are meant to be stretched, are meant to grow, are meant to expand. But the problem is with a lot of us is uncomfortable. Like, bro, like I ain't stretched in a minute. That's kind of tight. I'm kind of sore. I don't really want to expand. I don't really want to, I just want to stay in my lane, right? I'm comfortable. But through comfort does not come growth. It doesn't mean you cannot come back to that comfort land or that comfort zone. It just means that there are times in your life when you need to be expanding, you need to be stretching yourself. Do not stress yourself to the point where that rubber band snaps and that pressure comes falling down on your shoulders. You need to know when it's okay to say no. When it's okay to say, I need my boundaries. I need some space. I need some time. So I can make sure I can keep stretching. So today I want you to stretch. Today I want you to have that rubber band mindset. So what does the word potential mean to you? I just want you to throw this in the chat. I would love for everybody to throw it in the chat, but at least several people so I can kind of have some conversation. When you think about the word potential, what does that mean to you? You could say an example. You can give a definition, you can give a word, you can give a person, you can give a phrase. There's no wrong answers. This is what you believe potential means to you. Once we have several people in there, we're gonna elaborate and we're gonna have a conversation around this. Oh my goodness. Jeff, unrealized promise. I love it. What you can accomplish, the capacity to grow one's skills, potential, seeing the opportunity in something or someone, opportunity. Okay, keep putting them in there. I'll wait for a couple more. I'm loving this, loving the interaction. I know it's weird because we're virtual. I'm telling you, it'd be about 400 times better if we were in person, but we still gonna make this dope. Opportunity, developing beyond your own personal growth. Ooh, okay, Gary, I see you. I see you. Okay, well, let's talk about this. So when I was growing up, in high school, college years, people always told me, Tyler, you know what? You have so much potential. You got so much potential. And I was just not really actualizing that for myself. I didn't really internalize that. And I didn't really know what the hell they was talking about. I was like, what do you even mean? Potential in what? Like, in what? And as I got older, people kept telling me this, and I got into like my high 20s, and I was like, oh, the reality is this, y'all. And y'all, this is going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to tell y'all some truth today. I'm a truth teller. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. If you up in your upper 20s and you hitting them 30s, fam, and people keep telling you got potential, that means you ain't done shit. Excuse my language. I think I might get, you might cut me off now. My bad. I didn't mean to cuss. You ain't done nothing. Excuse my language. When people are telling you that you have a lot of potential, but you haven't necessarily lived into that. Essentially what that means is you have not fulfilled that promise, like a lot of you said, of what you can accomplish. I know, Talonda said, watch your mouth. I know my mama would have watched my mouth. So my apologies, I won't cuss no more. That's my apologies. So how do you live into your potential? What does that mean? What is potential? Well, I want to share a spoken word piece with you. If you don't know what spoken word is a mixture of like hip hop and poetry. And so past life, you know, a while ago, ever since I had like all of my children, I used to make music and I put out 3 hip hop projects. And I love doing that because I love sharing messages and encouraging people, and hopefully people would listen to my lyrics. The reality was nobody was listening to my lyrics. They were looking for the beats, and they didn't necessarily like my beats. So I didn't have that successful of a music career. So how do I still use my creative outlet to want to share a message and inspire? So I want to share a little quick spoken word poetry piece about potential. So here it goes. Potential. It is an opportunity for growth. Humbly knowing it's only limited to your choice. You see, but when it is activated, you're no longer masquerading through the maturation of somebody else's voice. I really need you to speak up. Become who you were destined to be. Use potential is much like cooking, minus the instructions of a recipe. Because inside of you are the ingredients to immediate perspective change. And perspective change is something that allows you to finesse the game. So what are you waiting for? Seize the moment and storm through opportunity's doors and never give up or give in until your reality is actually how you live in your dreams. Until your reality is actually how you live in your dreams. I want you to remember that last part. Until your reality is actually how you live in your dreams. Here's a truth. You cannot see what you do not believe, and you cannot believe what you do not look for. So what are you looking for? What are you trying to tap into? You see, I apologize about the curse word, but I use that because I want to emphasize to you about how important this is that you realize your own potential. And I need to be more creative and not use curse words, but that's just what came out during that moment. So how are you tapping into the power of your potential so you can lean into your greatness? How are you doing that? Okay, let's talk about this. We have 3 different pictures here, okay? Number 1 on the left, we got a gas pump. In the middle, we got a vehicle, a car. And on the right side, we got some navigation of some sort, some GPS. Here's what I know. And I love that I got, from when I'm looking, you know, as I'm looking at everybody on here, and I'm not trying to judge, but everybody looks like we're in our 20s or above. I don't look like I have any high school students. Maybe there is a high school student on here. And if you are, shout out to you. But it looks like we're all in that kind of like that mature phase now where we're either working in our career fields or we're trying to find what that career field is going to be for us, based on what I'm just seeing optically through these pictures and these videos. Here's what I know. You were asked this question when you were young. What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? And I think it's a silly question because it needs to be followed up with, well, why do you actually want to do that? Because I could sit here and ask you right now, well, what do you want to do? What are you doing? What do you do as a job? What do you do as a career? That's a vehicle. That's this middle portion. What you do is just a vehicle. It gets you from where you're at to where you're trying to go. Your career, your title, your position, your job is a vehicle. There's literally thousands of types of vehicles that you could have out there. The average person has 6 vehicles, 6 cars during their lifetime. The average person switches their career field about 6 times during their lifetime. So what's more important is the fuel source, this left side. Your fuel is why you do what you do. It's the fuel that you put in the vehicle to get to where you want to go. Here's a story. My favorite car in the world, usually I would ask you guys to like judge me and like, what car do you think I would like the most? And anytime somebody says a Prius, a Camry, an Odyssey van, because I have a lot of children, I say, hey, you need to leave the session. I'm done with you. You cannot be here no more. Listen, if money was not a problem, money's not an issue. You think a brother wants a Prius? An Odyssey? At least give me the Mercedes Sprinter van. What are we talking about, bruh? Now listen to me. If I could have any car in the world, and I'm finna have it, I just don't have it yet because we still have a lot of children. They're young, and you know it doesn't make sense yet. But we're gonna get it. It's a Range Rover. Now listen to me. I'm on a 2021 black Range Rover, all leather on the inside, 24 on the rims, leather everything, Bose system banging. The thing is clean. And I'm sitting there just outside of the grocery store, just outside of a Fred Meyer's, waving at my homies, getting in their car. What's up? Oh, good to see you, bro. It's been a minute. That's a Friday. A Saturday, still sitting in my car. What's up, bro? Been a minute. Good to see you again. Sunday, still sitting in my car. What's up? Been a minute. Monday, people are concerned. They're like, Tyler has the same clothes on. He looks like he has not moved. What's going on? So like, Tyler, what's going on? Why are you not moving? Like, I don't understand. Like, you got this nice car. It's like, I know it's not the battery or nothing's going on. What's up? And I'm like, no, man, I'm trying to figure it out. And they asked me, they said, well, Tyler, did you ever put gas in the car? Did you put fuel in there? And I say, you know what? Nah, I never stopped by the gas station now that I think about it. You know how many of us, maybe some of you sitting on this call, have this nice shiny Range Rover vehicle. You got this cool title or position, or you're trying to esteem to a title or position, and it looks so good. You're showing off for your homies. You got these degrees and these plaques. Oh, call me doctor. Call me doctor. But you have no fuel. You have no passion, no purpose behind what you're doing. You are literally, listen, this is how I know you ain't doing the right thing. It's Wednesday and you keep talking about you can't wait till Friday. Oh, but you love your job and you can't wait till Friday. Why you can't wait till Friday? Because you off work. Let me talk to you. You don't want to talk about this because it's uncomfortable. I have aligned myself in a way, and I'm going to share my story. I'm a first generation college graduate, entrepreneur, working professional. I figured it all out. Let me backtrack. I didn't figure it all out. I figured it out in a way right now where my life is constructed in a way where my fuel comes first and I'll find the vehicle later. Because if I know what I wanted, if I know my why, then I can find a vehicle to get to where I want to go. The difference is between me and a lot of other people that I see, they're so concerned with looking good on the way to getting there that they're taking the wrong vehicle. They're trying to go to Mount Hood. It's about to rain out here in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, snow. Where I live in Portland, I don't know if it's going to be snowing where y'all are at, but a lot of people finna try to hit this mountain. A lot of people are going to go out here and try to take an Audi A5 R8 76 Plus. I don't even know what that's a car, but they're trying to take this fast, centered, low to the ground car up to the mountain. They're going to look real good going down 84. But as soon as they get on some incline and they hit that snow and that sleet, that vehicle wasn't meant to get to where you're trying to go. So you got to pick the vehicle that allows you to get to where you're trying to go. Because what we're concerned about a lot of the time is this. Okay, let me find what I want to do. Then let me find how to do it. Well, the problem is you don't even know why you're trying to do it really, other than superficial. Well, I want to help people. That's superficial. Most people want to help people. How do you want to help people? Through education, through workforce job placement, through the medical field, through creating brands that empower companies that help people. How do you want to help people? Because the navigation, here's what I know. If we were in person and you guys came to the Goodwill Services Center located in Tacoma, all of you would have got there in a different way. Some of you would have caught an Uber if you bougie. I'm just playing. Some of y'all would have caught an Uber. Some of you might have caught a bus. Some of y'all might have walked. Some of you might have jogged. Some of you might have rode a bike. Some of you might have carpooled. Some of y'all might have drove yourself. But everybody gets there differently. So don't be so caught up with the process to get to where you want to go. Get really, really caught up in how to actually attain the things that you actually believe true for yourself. So when I talk about your why, I want you to identify your core values. Well, what are core values, Tyler? Core values are an operating system for how you filter decision making. Isn't I'm sure we probably got some people that are in relationships here. You got partners. My wife, super indecisive about food. Babe, what you want to eat? I don't care, babe. What do you want? I want pizza. I don't want pizza. Okay, what about you want some pad thai? I don't want pad thai. What, babe? Well, then you make the decision. What you trying to eat? And that's a superficial thing to understand decision making. Now, for me, when it comes to eating, I want to eat things that are going to be nutritious, things that are going to get the job done, and it just needs to taste decent. She wants something that's like the most delicate, sweet, savory combination of everything. So we have different values, right? So when you know what you value, you know how to make decisions. All of us have those friends that are super indecisive about what they want to do. how they want to move forward, the ways they want to move in life. I would encourage you to understand the reason that people are like that is because they don't know what they actually truly believe in. So I know what I believe in. I know what my core values are. I don't want you to, and what we have to stop doing, especially, I see we got a lot of BIPOC folks on here, a lot of Black, Indigenous, people of color. And again, listen, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I'm just assuming by looking at your pictures, okay, that we settle a lot of the times. And we settle in the sense that we compromise our culture and we don't show up as our full selves. Lauryn Hill said it best. The real you is way more impressive than the fake somebody else. Show up as you, because nobody is going to be better than you, but you got to find out who you actually are. So after I share this, I want to dive into some storytelling. Okay. So here's what your why is. Your why is a statement. Okay. Understand this. Your why is a statement. Oh, let me go back. I always do that. My bad. I jumped a little early. My why is to help people tap into the power of their potential so they can lean into their greatness, to impact people and help them tap into the power of their potential so they can lean into their greatness. I built a whole business model around this. I want you to understand something. So I purposely get on here. I don't introduce myself. I don't do the traditional, like, hey guys, my name's Tyler. I'm from here. This is what we're going to talk about. Like, you lose people in like 30 seconds. Like, I try to be innovative. A lot of the time, if we're in person, I just bust out with a spoken word. And you're like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, my goodness, this dude's just rapping out of nowhere. Like, what is different? Understand this. It took till I was about 33 years old. I'm 36 years old today. I have 7 children that we take full responsibility over. I had no children at 26. At 25 years old, I was living in a room share because I was broke as a joke. I was evicted from my apartment. I could not get my own apartment or my own place by myself. And I was making about $1,700 a month. Fast forward a decade. I'm a director at a nonprofit, and I'm not bragging. I'm just giving the reality. This is my life. I'm a director at a nonprofit running a leadership development college success program with multiple entities and networks combined within that. I'm taking care of all of our kids, me and my wife collectively. I work out. I try to eat healthy. I love the Blazers. I will talk to you about Damian Lillard all day. Best point guard in NBA. Don't at me. Don't argue. Don't put anything in the chat because I would delete you. Don't do it. Don't do it today. Today's not the day. Not after a win. And then lastly, I own my own personal brand and inspirational storytelling and speaking business called The Underdog Mentality. I was able to do this because I stopped focusing on what I want to do and started focusing on why I want to do it. I don't do marketing. I don't do promotion and outreach, but opportunities come to me because I believe I treat people right. I'm decent at what I do, or people wouldn't want to have me come in and do things like this. And I'm so passionate about what I want to do because there's passion, there's purpose, and there's lifestyle. And then I'm going to get into this story. Your passion, that is something that comes to you naturally. Like as you wake up, it doesn't take energy or effort. You just feel it within your body that you need to do this thing. That's passion. What is that for you? What gives you that amount of passion that it's not a chore? It's not a thing you have to remind yourself to do. It's who you are. It's built into your DNA. It's built into your fabric. What's your passion? Number 2, what's your purpose? I would encourage you to understand that your purpose needs to be bigger than you. As soon as I start hearing people talk about their purpose and it's something kind of selfish just about them and it's not benefiting other people, well, that's not really a purpose. That's more of a hobby or, you like to do it. But purpose is, how are you adding value to the world? Because you're either adding value or you're subtracting value. Listen, you either walk into a room and you light it up, or you walk into the room and when you leave, you light it up. Are you lighting it up when you walk in, or are you lighting it out when you dip? Guys, listen to me. Relationships matter. How you treat people matters. And don't just treat people transactionally, like to try to get a heads up or try to get a hand up or try to get an opportunity. Treat people because that's who you actually are. And everything that I've got is through the hands of other people. I am not this incredible, being by myself. None of us are. We need other people. It's a village that it takes for us to all reach those new levels of lives that we want to get to. Okay? I know I'm fired up right now. My goodness, it's already 1:36. Here we go. So what's your why? What's your why? It's a statement. I get, listen, just somebody say yes, me, yeah. If you ever showed up to a networking event right? We've all been to these conferences. We've been to these networking events. We've been to these social gatherings, and people say, hey, my name's, Tyler. Hey, what's your name? Oh, John, nice to meet you. Hey, John, what do you do? Has anybody ever heard, does anybody ever get asked that question? What do you do? Just say, yeah, me, yes. Yeah, I see your head shaking. You might be muted. That's fine. Thumbs up. I see it. I get so dang tired of that question. I start messing with people. Listen, somebody asked me, Tyler, what do you do? I said, what you mean? Well, what do you do for work? Well, I do a lot of different things for work, but let me talk to you about my kids. Here's a picture. I got a lot. My wife's from Guam. She moved out here when she was 16. She's the youngest of 11. Her mom had her when she was 14. She basically raised her brothers and sisters. I mean, she's an incredible woman. She's helped me, get to where I'm at, to where, where I was at, to where I want to be. And she's encouraged me. I got a lot of cool homies. We like to hoop on the weekend. I like to cook. I like to work out. And people just looking at me like I'm crazy as heck. Like, what is wrong with this guy? And they always come back to like, well, Tyler, no, I'm saying, what do you do for work? Well, why are we so conditioned and associated to think about, well, what do you do associated with like what we do for work? See, because when your identity is wrapped up in what you do for a job, who are you when you can no longer do that job? When you get fired, if you get hurt, if you lose your eyesight, whatever it is, obviously you're not wishing that on anybody, but that stuff happens. And I was an athlete. I'm going to share this with you. I was a basketball player. And I'm going to share this. When I lost my identity, it was a soul searching, what's the next move for me place. Let's dive in. Swag. Here I am. Check me out. Hold on. These chains are real. That chain was fake. Okay, let me talk to you. That chain was bought from the Lloyd Center Mall for $14.99 from Piercing Pagoda. And they said, Tyler, do not play basketball in this. Because I said, hey, can I hoop in this? Because I want to kind of show off and be like, Like if you sweat in this, your neck will turn green. 2 weeks later, neck was green. It was a bad look. It was a bad look. Freshman year of high school, Talana, remember this. Freshman year of high school right here. This is me right here with the do-rag on. Sometimes when I do this picture, people are like, well, which person are you? You got to be kidding me. I'm the one in the back. That's my sister on the right. That's my mama on the left. This is Y2K. We all remember Y2K, like everything, the computers were going to blow up. The world was going to end, all that. This was the next day. So I'm feeling kind of swaggy and confident because we were still alive. So I said, let me take this picture with no smile. Now I want to take you back. This is the year 2000, 1999, 2000. Freshman in high school, had me a nice little girlfriend freshman year. Had been struggling a little bit in school, not doing my best. And my dad said 3 words to me. Anytime I would get in trouble, I don't know if your parents or whoever oversaw you when you were growing up, to get your attention, what they would say, my dad would say 3 words. Boy, you better. Boy, you better go get your, insert a curse word into the bed. It's 10 o'clock. What you doing? My dad was a calm, nice, sweet man. So anytime he got mad, which was like twice a year, I knew it meant business. I said, my girlfriend's name was Mickey. I said, Mickey, I got to go. Hung up the phone. My dad comes down these basement stairs. I mean, at a sprinter's pace. He ain't ever ran fast nowhere. Dude ain't worked out ever. And he's, boom. He looks at me in the face. I said, Dad, what's going on? He said, boy, I told you to get off that phone. I said, Dad, I know. All I know is I look up and I see this hand coming at my face. And my dad had big hands. And he had about 72 rings on each finger, it felt like. And this man slapped me across my face so hard. Now, I'm not glorifying violence. This is a funny but emotional, vulnerable story. This is the reality of what I was dealing with. My dad never put hands on me. This is the one time he put hands on me. My mom used to whip me about every other Wednesday, though, because I was tripping back in the day. But Pops never put his hands on me. He slapped me this day. And I just sat there for a minute. And after he slapped me, he goes upstairs. And I go upstairs to my sister Melissa's room, and I bust out what's called the ugly cry. What's the ugly cry? Like no words coming out, you snot nose, you just dripping. It sounds like you beatboxing when you try to talk, like, you can't get no words out. We've all been there. And if you ain't had an ugly cry, it's coming soon. And stop lying. We all had ugly cries. So I had this ugly cry going, and she looked at me, she said, well, what happened? I said, well, Daddy slapped me. She said, Dad slapped you. She said, I thought people was down there dropping pans in the kitchen. It was so loud. She said, where were you at? I said, I was in the basement. She's on the 3rd floor of the house. She heard the slap from the basement. That loud. I wiped my tears and I said, I don't know why he slapped me. I don't know what's going on. And how I would deal with my chaos. Here's a word I wanted you to remember, chaos. How I would deal with my chaos, because my mother right here, what you don't know, and I'm going to tell you now, is she was addicted to crystal meth. And I'm very transparent and vulnerable about that. She passed away at 50 years old. And, you know, I told these stories and we share these moments, and she overcame that addiction when I was an adult. But from the time I can remember until the time, you know, she stopped caring for us because we moved with our father, she was addicted to crystal meth. She wasn't around. She wasn't available. She wasn't present physically, mentally. And my sister, second mama to me, pretty much raised me until I started moving with my dad when I was a teenager. And I share that because we all have those moments of chaos. We all have those moments where it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility. Let me talk to you about this. It wasn't my fault that I grew up in a drug-affected, domestic violence, you know, pretty tough situation. It was not my fault. I was a young kid. I didn't have the ability to get out of that, really. You know, I didn't. But as I started to become older, I realized, Tyler, it's your damn responsibility not to repeat those efforts that you've seen and not to be a victim of those circumstances. Instead, be a victor of your commitment to be a better person. And I believe that with my whole being. And I couldn't articulate that when I was 12 or 11, but I believe that within my soul. And that got me through those times. My sister was an amazing human. She actually passed away recently from cancer. You know, I hope I don't get emotional about this, but that's how I have so many more kids. We've taken in her children. We've taken in my wife's two other children. My wife's sister's two other children, because her sister has made some unfortunate decisions that they were going to get placed in the state. And we said, no, buddy, we're going to take them. And so we had 4 of our own, and now we have 7. And there's a lot of humans in this house. My door is locked so they don't come in and bother me while I'm doing this call, to be honest with you. But this was my situation growing up. I didn't understand what it really meant to be able to get out of that situation and create success for myself. Nobody in my family would, I had no working professionals. My dad sold cars on and off as I was growing up. I didn't have examples of what it looked like to build a life more than just survival. And so when my dad slapped me, back to that, I didn't know how to respond to my sister. I said, I don't know why he slapped me. I don't know what was going on. And I would deal with my chaos through humor, try to be funny about it. Well, you know what, if dad, when I come up out of here, if he tries to make a move on me, I'm going to get him back. I'm going to, talking all this little crap under my breath. So I lay down on the bed and I'm about to go to bed, and I hear these words again. Boy, you better go get your little insert a curse word into the car right now. I said, where are we going? Is anybody, raise your hand. Are you a worst case scenario type person? Like, what's the worst thing that could potentially happen? And I'm preparing for that. Even though the reality is it probably ain't finna happen, but you just like trying to be prepared. I'm that person, especially when it comes to airplanes. Worst case scenario. Absolutely. So worst case scenario, I hop in the car. You guys, I don't know if you're familiar with the Portland area, but Portland and Vancouver, Washington are literally across, 5-minute drive across some water to each other. We lived about 10 minutes from Vancouver. So we start going I-5 south. Why are we going I-5 south? There's only 3 exits before we get into Washington. I've never been to Washington. I've never been. Like, why are we going to Washington right now? Where are we going? So this dude pulls off. My dad pulls off. He gets off at Jansen Beach. What's at Jansen Beach? Columbia River, a lot of water. I don't swim. Worst case scenario. This dude is finna try to drop me off in this river. He's finna try to dispose of me. He's acting out of character. I have no idea what's wrong with this man. Obviously, that didn't happen. He pulls off into a Denny's parking lot. He pulls off in a Denny's, and I'm starting thinking, okay, all the trauma he's caused, put hands on me. He's feeling bad. He's trying to treat me for a meal. I'm getting all the French fries, every milkshake, every meal. I'm spending $100 here, Dad, at Denny's. I'm about to get out the car. I go reach for the door, open up the car. My dad grabs me on the shoulder, hard as he can. Big hands again. And I got so scared. I started praying so hard. I said, Lord Jesus, please do not let this man put any hands on me again. I can't take any more of this. I turn around and I look at my father and he has tears coming down his face. Anybody sympathy criers? You see somebody else that you love and you care about and you start crying? That's me. Absolutely. My kids, my wife, I just can't take it. So he's bawling, I'm bawling. We both in there sloppy, ugly cries, just doing all this. And I wipe my face off. He wipes his face off. He gives me a kiss. I give him a kiss. And I said, but Daddy, why you hit me? Why? He said, Tyler, let me ask you a question. He said, what's your why? I was like, huh? What does that mean? I didn't understand. He's like, why do you do what you do? Like, what do you want to do? Let's start with that, Tyler. Like, what do you want to do? And I said, Daddy, I want to be a basketball player. I want to play basketball. He said, well, you got cut from the team this year, number one, because you weren't good enough. And number two, because your grades weren't good enough. And I said, you're right. He said, so what's the first thing you got to do? So I said, well, I got to get better. He said, no, you got to get better at school. And then work on basketball. Because if your grades still suck, you ain't going to be able to make the team, regardless of how good you are. And that was the first time I realized, like, oh, okay, I got to do things that I don't want to do in order to get things that I actually want to have. Let me explain this to you. It's called willpower. Willpower is the ability to do what you know you need to do, even when part of you or most of you does not want to do it. So I realized, like, most of me did not want to sit in the classroom, didn't want to do the traditional school thing. I did not like it. I love the social aspect, but school was never really my thing. Academics, I wasn't really feeling it, to be honest. But I realized I got to do this thing to get actually what I want. Now, what is that for you? What is that for you? What is that thing you know you need to do, even though one part of you doesn't want to do it? Now, hear me clearly. That does not mean you compromise your character or your culture to do that thing. Being good at school and doing my thing in school was not compromising my character. It was not compromising my culture. I was just being a person that had a fixed mindset in the sense that I was afraid that if I actually tried and I failed, I couldn't deal with that failure. That's how fixed-minded people think. So when you're fixed mindseted, you're not going to really try and put effort, because you're always going to rest on the ability that, like, well, if I actually tried, I know I could have did my thing and I could have passed, or I could have made the team, or I could have could have did a good job at that interview. A growth mindset says, listen, I'm going to try, I'm going to work my buns off. I'm going to give my best effort. And regardless of the results, I'm willing to live with that and learn and grow from that failure. That's when I switch clicked in my mind. And this is what my grades looked like my freshman year. Talanda might remember this. I actually called Portland Public School District and got this, y'all. This is my transcript. And now this is just part of it. Okay. As you can see, F, C. I needed a C in PE. Come on, don't play with me. No grade in health. I don't even know what that means. F, C in manufacturing. When the grades came out after my freshman year, you had 4 quarters. You had 6 classes per quarter. That's 24 grades. I had 23 Fs. 23 out of 24 grades that I received were Fs. I got suspended 3 times for about 3 weeks in total. One was fighting the teacher. It was crazy. Number 2, wearing a do-rag. They were hating on me because I was just trying to get some waves. Come on, please. What are we doing? And number 3 was because I was like sagging my pants. So my reputation was following me. Got in a fight with a teacher. Oh, wow, we got to watch out for this kid. He's making bad choices. Wearing a do-rag. Oh, suspended. Oh, sagging his pants, suspended. And I was this close, y'all. I was this close to getting expelled and going down a path that I don't know where my life would be. But it was that conversation I had on that January night, I believe it was, with my father, when he said, what's your why and what do you want to do? And I said, Daddy, I'm committing myself to being an athlete. I want to be an athlete. But let's talk about this real quick, and then I'm going to finish off with a couple of slides, and we'll open it up for some Q&A. Remember when I talked about when your whole identity is wrapped up in what you do as a career? Who are you when you can no longer do what you did? Case in point, I developed myself into a really good basketball player as far as, like, I would say, well, not really good. I was good. I was decent. And I had full ride basketball scholarships to Division I's. If you know what Division I is, that's the highest level of basketball that you can play in. And I had 10 Division I offers. I went to community college in Bakersfield, California. Shout out to Bakersfield. And I was there for 2 years and grew a lot during that time. Had roommates from Brooklyn. They taught me a lot about life. I got another funny story I'll probably share next time about them. And it was a great experience. And from there, I had St. Mary's, Portland State, Montana State, Boise State, a lot of state schools now I think about it, that were offering me full rides to come play basketball. I committed to go to play to Portland State. I come back, I go to Portland State. The coach leaves within about a week and a half of me signing my letter of intent to go there. I don't get a warning. There's a new coach. He's coming from the University of Washington. He doesn't know me. You know, I still had to take these math classes. And what I was doing was this. All I was doing was this. I was just pointing the finger at all these, well, this coach left me. He doesn't, you know, he didn't help me. And this coach doesn't know me. He doesn't. And I was pointing the finger. But I believe you are responsible for what you do not do, what you do, and how you respond to what happens to you. So instead of pointing the finger and placing the blame, I should have been accepting the responsibility that I was not holding up my end of the bargain to do the things I know I didn't want to do, which was school. So again, my whole identity, I didn't have a job. I never had a job at this time. All I have done was play basketball. I did work at Subway. I was a sandwich artist for like a month and a half and I got fired because I was bad. So I got fired at that. Sandwich artist. That was a cool title, by the way. I'll put that on the resume. Don't play with me. Come on now. So working at Subway, sandwich artist, and then basketball player. That's all I was up. That's all I did. So I was balling out. I went to, I was balling out in Bakersfield. All these other schools were recruiting me. I went to a Division II because basically my clock started and I only had one more year to play high level basketball. So I said, I want to still play 2 years. So I'll drop down a level and go to Division II. I went to Division II. I mean, they got all types of articles about me in the paper. I'm winning the dunk contest. I'm averaging like 15 points in 16 minutes a game. It's just like things are looking up. And things started looking down pretty quickly. I got injured. I had actually been injured for about a year, but I didn't tell the coach because I was afraid that if I told him, they might cut me from the team. I might lose my scholarship. I couldn't afford to go to school. I was out of state. And essentially I had surgery my senior year. And after I had the surgery, I woke up and the doctor said, hey, Tyler, I just want to ask you a question. Like, how long do you think you want to continue to play basketball? And I said, well, this is all I know. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make money playing this. I know I'm not going to make it to the NBA. You know, I don't have that work ethic and I'm just not that good, but I can make 80, 90,000, you know, overseas and playing in Switzerland and just living a good life. He said, well, brother, you have very, very, very minimal cartilage left in your knees. And if you continue to play basketball at the rate you're playing, you'll have knee replacements before you're probably 28 years old. And I said, no way, I don't want to hear that. So as a knucklehead, I didn't want to listen. I continued to play. And what happened? My knees got worse and worse and worse. I stopped playing. I didn't get any playing time. And I ended my career. We played in Alaska. This is the worst place to end your career, by the way. I'm in Alaska, Fairbanks. It's negative 70,000 degrees. Literally, it's like negative 45 degrees. And I don't even get in the game. And we're losing and we can't score. And what I can do is I can score. Like, I can get buckets. Like, I'm a scorer. And I don't even get in the game. And my whole identity had been wrapped up in being an athlete. I broke down in the locker room. I started crying and I said, what am I going to do from here? Because I have no identity other than sports. No identity other than being an athlete. So don't get yourself so caught up in, you know, my whole identity is in HR. That's who I am. I'm an HR person, or I work in retail. That's what I do. Or, you know, I'm a business owner, whatever it is. You're so much more than just what you do. What's your why? And why the heck does that matter to you? So I had to go through some soul searching times. So fast forward about 9 years and I finally started figuring it out. Let's talk about those things. Potential. So here's the actual definition I believe that potential is. It's a present but not yet visible excellence or ability that's just yet to be developed. A present but not yet visible excellence or ability that is yet to be developed. Who knows this show? Who can tell me what the show is? Unmute yourself. Tell me what show it is. Let's see. Who knows?
Chopped.
Is that Mandy? Who is that?
It was Sharon, a weak voice, Sharon.
Sharon? Sharon, you on here?
I'm on here.
Stop playing, Sharon. It's good to hear from you. How you been?
I've been great, Tyler. It's great to listen to you.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here with us. Thank you, Sharon, for being here. Shout out to Sharon. Sharon got me involved in Leadership Clark County, which was an incredible opportunity. And I wouldn't have had this house, Sharon, if I wasn't in Leadership Clark County, because our broker was Brian. So there it is.
The cook show, the one that has a cook.
I don't know.
Okay.
Some kind of cook thing. Cook.
Who's talking?
It's some kind of cooking show.
Yeah, it is a cooking show. Yes, it is. It's Chopped. Sharon had it right. She knows her. She knows her. So this show, and sorry, this is a bad picture now I think about it. It's kind of dark, but this is a show that comes on the Food Network channel. Okay. And how my brain works is through analogies and like sports references. So in metaphors, analogies, and sports references. So if you don't feel those three things, you're probably going to be confused by some of the things I'm sharing today. Hopefully it makes as much sense as it can for you. So Chopped, this is how Chopped works. Chopped, 30-minute show. You come on, you get 4 chefs. On to the right, the ones in the red vest, they're all chefs. The ones over here on the left, they're actually chefs as well, but they're like premier chefs, like world-renowned folks, and they're the judges. And what happens is you open up this basket of mystery ingredients. And in this basket, no lie, I've seen these ingredients before mixed in these baskets. Sardines, lemon peel, apple cider, kale, and turtle knuckles. And you got to make a meal. I'd have been like, hey, bro, I love to cook, but I'm not dealing with this. Hey, just send me the check. I'm not doing this. And I love to cook. And here's what I realized about the show. I would always predict the person that would win. I would say, oh, okay, John over here, ooh, he took that kale. Ooh, okay, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of salt and pep. Okay, ooh, I've seen what you're doing. A little bit of, okay, add a little radish to it, give it a little spice and a little crunch. Woo, that boy finna win. This dude will be the first dude cut every time. And I'm watching the show and I'm like, gosh, how am I not predicting this right? And the words that I kept hearing from the judges would say when people would lose, you know what? It tasted really good. I like your presentation, but you did not transform. You didn't use the full potential of this ingredient. And the person that would win would take the kale, would mix it with some beet juice, would put some apple juice to it, would take some cream, put it in the freaking ice cream machine, and you got nasty kale ice cream. But for some reason, it's bomb, and people love it. And I'm like, I would have threw that up. That does not sound good. But the judges love it, and they say, you know what? We love how you transformed and you use the full potential of these ingredients. Well, what am I talking about here? Well, this is potential. Well, what do you mean? Well, what are the ingredients inside of you? Oh, well, we all have the similar ingredients. And y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all gonna get mad. I like to make people mad because it challenges you. Let me talk to you. What are those ingredients? Okay. Breath in your lungs. Wherever your lungs are. I don't know where your lungs are at in your body. I don't know my anatomy. Heart beating in your chest. The ability to think for yourself, and get this, you don't want to hear this, the same 24 hours in a day. As soon as I start hearing people say, I don't got the time, I don't got the time. No. You need to make time. Because here's what I know. If it's a priority, you will make time. You will absolutely make time if something is a priority to you. So stop trying to find the time. I'm trying to find the time. Because I can guarantee you right now, if you're a sports fan, if you're a music fan, if I gave you free tickets to the whatever your favorite Seahawks, Blazers, whoever, favorite artist ever, I gave you tickets. I don't care what you got going on in your world. You finna make the time. You finna move things around. Look, there could be a traffic jam. Look, the I-5 bridge could be up and you like, uh-oh, nope, 205, 84, boom, I'm here. I don't want to hear it. If it's a priority, you finna make the time. Come on now, people. Sorry for yelling at you. Now, here's the thing about commitment, okay? Commitment means staying true to what you said long after the feeling is past that you said it in. Right here on the left, this was about a year ago. I was pretty hefty. I was not living my best fitness life. I was working out. I wasn't eating right. I had negative self-talk. I was criticizing myself instead of forgiving myself, which I'll talk about the next session. When you make a mistake, hold yourself accountable, but don't hold yourself hostage. There's a difference. Accountability means, you know what, I can be better. I expect more than what I've been producing for myself. But I understand I'm not perfect. I'm a human. I got my faults. I got my vices. But tomorrow's a new day and I'm going to be better. And that's how I talk to myself now, instead of like beating myself up and just having low confidence and self-esteem. Because guess what? That's going to lower your motivation. And motivation is just a feeling. Understand this. Motivation is a feeling. Comes and it goes and it ebbs and it flows. Like anger, sadness, happiness. Those are all feelings. Commitment. Inspiration is the reason why you do what you want to do. So I know it's weird because it might seem like I'm showing a whole bunch of pictures of myself and like, I don't know, bragging or whatever. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you the reality of this is what I've done. So the funny thing is, the picture on the left versus the picture on the right, the only thing that changed was a commitment to do the things to commit to the things I said I wanted to do long after the feeling is past that I said it in. I know we just wrapped up about a month and a half now of New Year's resolutions. How are those going? Because I know what my timeline looks like. January 1st, New Year, new me. Same person. February 3rd, you know what? Golly, it's been hard getting to the gym. Haven't been as inspired or motivated. Same person, March 15th. Oh yeah, back at it. Can't wait. Meal prepping. Feeling good. Same person, mid-April. You know what, man? I don't know if I can meal prep because I know this is kind of boring. Let me see, is there a meal prep service? Let me see if I can look into that. Maybe I get a personal trainer. Same person, mid-August. You know what? I don't really know how to work out. That's what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to get a trainer, mid-August. Oh, same person, September. You know what? That trainer wasn't for me. That gym wasn't good. I didn't really like how their weights felt. Let me go over here to 24-hour fitness because LA Fitness wasn't the thing. Same person, January 1, new year, new me, but you still look the same. Hello. This is the uncomfortable conversation. Now, why do I use fitness and working out? Because that's like the easiest analogy for us to all understand, because that takes an incredible amount on the front end of self-discipline. Anything you're going to want that's worthwhile, that's really worth your effort and your energy, is going to take an immense amount of self-discipline on the front end. But here's the beautiful thing, what people don't want to talk about. Once you create that self-discipline, then you create what's called a habit. And once habit kicks in, you feel weird if you don't do that thing that you've been doing. So be self-disciplined enough for your habits to kick in. Let's talk about this. Leadership, influence. Why am I talking to you about leadership? Well, because it's simple. It's very simple. Are you going to be the author or the narrator of your life? Here's a great book. If you ever never picked this up or bought it, it can be a little pricey. I don't know. Actually, no, I don't think it's that much. 20, 30 bucks or something. But this is called Strength Finders. And essentially, you don't even got to read the whole book. You read the first part of the book, like first 30 pages. And in the back, there is a little red code that you take off, you cut it out, you go on your computer or your phone, and you submit a basically an assessment. I'll ask you all these questions. It takes about 30, 45 minutes, but it's well worth it. And it tells you your top 5 strengths as a leader. Because here's what I know. So many of you right now, because every place I go, doesn't matter what room I'm in. Right now, it seems like I'm in a room of professionals and people trying to get jobs and young people and older people. Like, it's just a mixture. But it doesn't matter what room I'm in. Rooms of executives and business owners. I haven't been in too many of those rooms, actually, to be honest, so I maybe shouldn't say that. But I work with a lot of younger people, young professionals, folks seeking jobs, opportunities, right? Doesn't matter. About 30% of the people, when I say raise your hand if you consider yourself to be a leader, 70% of the room don't believe they're leaders. And I'm here to tell you, listen to me, leadership is a choice. Hello. Leadership is all about how you use your influence. Now, well, Tyler, I'm not like you. I hear this all the time. I'm not like you. I just can't speak and I'm not charismatic or whatever. I'm like, hey, can I tell you the truth? I sucked like vacuums when I started this. I was not good. It's taken years to be able to speak in front of people and not be nervous. I'm not nervous at all anymore. I get anxious and butterflies because I want to do good, but I'm not nervous because here's the reality. Ain't none of y'all worried about me. Can I tell you this right now? Look at me. I had this dude who came up to me and said, Tyler, I want to go to the gym. I want to start getting in better shape, but I'm nervous that when I go, everybody's looking at me. I said, John, bring it in. I said, bring it in, John. I said, John, can I tell you something? I want to be quiet because there's other people listening. And I don't want them to hear because I don't want you to get upset. Nobody's thinking about you, John, at the gym. John, you at the gym, nobody's worried about you, bro. They're worried about how their biceps ain't hitting, how their squat is weak, how they're feeling flabby on the tummy, whatever. They're not thinking about you. So there's this concept that we have this spotlight effect that we think everybody is thinking about us. And the reality is they're not. We're all dealing with our own chaos. We're all trying to navigate our own challenges. Because listen, you're either in a challenge or chaos, you're either in it, dealing with it, headed into one, or coming out of one. But it's a consistent flow and a process. So as a leader, how do you use your influence to impact others? Well, that comes from your character, which you can always increase, your integrity. What you say is what you mean. Who you are is who you are here. You're not changing and switching up to fit in. And your ability, you can all learn how to do stuff. So you all are leaders, whether you believe it or not. And we need more leaders. We need more influencers, people that are willing to use their influence for positive impact. Now, self-talk. I'll end with this, and then I want to open up for Q&A. I'll pass it back to you, Mandy. Self-talk. The seeds you plant in your mind will take root and grow. Okay. We first moved into our house in Northeast Portland. We now live in Southeast Portland. And we first moved out there. I go in the backyard, and if you're familiar with Portland, Portland is hella expensive to live in right now. And so we did not have the biggest backyard, but it was my cute little backyard. It was probably, 20 by 15 square feet. And I got my little yard back there, and I walk back there, and I see like these on the bottom, I see like these little nice plants. I don't know if they're roses or whatever they are. This is like in November. It's looking kind of cool. Leaves are kind of falling. I was like, oh, this is nice. But then, in Pacific Northwest, we ain't hanging outside until like May. So I finally go back out there in May. I was like, I got my grill from Home Depot. I said, babe, I'm finna get this grill. We finna do it. Come on, I got this carne asada. We finna do it. I take it out there and put it on the deck. I look at the backyard, and I got these weeds. You see these weeds on the top? I mean, these weeds is taller than me. I can't even walk up my stairs. They're all in the way. So I call my homie who's a landscaper. I say, hey, bro, I will pay people gladly to do things, number one, I don't care about. Like, I don't want to do that. And number two, that they're really good at. So put yourself in a position. That's another thing I'll say. Put yourself in a position where you can do that. And just imagine the stress relief that you get off your shoulders when you're not doing things you don't want to do and not doing things you're not good at. And you can actually encourage and empower other people to do it. Doesn't mean you're paying them to do it. This might mean you find other people that are excited about those things you're not. So I've realized that in my life. I have him come out, he takes care of it. 2 weeks later, no lie, I go back out there, the weeds are about as tall as they was before. I said, hold up. I just paid this man $250. I said, hold on, bro. I said, hey fam, I just paid you $250. What's good? Like, the weeds is back. He said, Tyler, what do you know about weeds? I said, bro, I don't know anything. That's why I'm calling you. What do you know? I paid you $250. What's up? He said, Tyler, weeds will grow through the cracks of the ground. He said, weeds do need no encouragement to grow. It's warm outside. It's raining. They gonna grow. I said, so what can I do? He said, well, you can either pay me pretty much every other week to come back and I'll cut them, spray them, do my thing. And I said, so they'll be taken care of? He said, no, if I stop coming back, they're going to grow. And I said, you're making no sense right now, bro. So you're telling me I got to pay you like $300-400 a month? Like, what's going on here, bro? And he said, well, or you can go out there and take care of it yourself. He said, you can go out there every week. Just go out there with your kids. Your kids can do it. You pull up the weeds, spray them down, do it, pull them up from the roots. But it's just going to take constant removal of those weeds. And I said, I appreciate you. Well, I don't want to do it. Can I pay you? Thank you. Come on. So he came and take care of it. And then I hung up the phone with my man and I said, you know what these weeds are? This is the negative self-talk we have. Do you know that your brains are resting on negative? Like your brain recalls memory. And typically our memories that we have are associated with a high emotional positive or a low emotional negative. And those are the memories that we hold true to ourselves. So think of yourselves like your thoughts like weeds or roses. Weeds take no encouragement to grow. That's just kind of where your brain will rest on, especially if you're not being intentional about what you're telling yourself and who you believe yourself to be. The roses take the right environment. So what's the environment that you have set up in your situation? Who are the company that you're keeping? Oh my goodness, y'all don't want to talk about that. There's this concept called days, hours, minutes. Well, Tyler, what do you mean? There's people, metaphorically speaking, you should spend days with, people you should spend hours with, and people you should spend minutes with. You should spend days with people that encourage you and inspire you, that have goals and a vision and are working towards those. Because you guys will encourage each other. You'll bounce encouragement, love and support for one another. There's no competitiveness. There's no judgment. There's no criticizing. It's just love. And we all have those people in our life. Hopefully you have them. If you don't, start seeking them out. Now there's people you should spend hours with. Who are the people you should spend hours with? These people, these hour people, these are the people that are positive polys. It's the best way I can describe them. I talk to Mandy. Mandy says, Tyler, what you been up to? Oh, I say, Mandy, what have you been up to? She says, oh, Tyler, we got all these great services we're delivering. We're working with some really great youth. We also have some adult workers that we're getting them jobs and internships and all these different programs. And she says, Tyler, what have you been up to? And I said, oh, hanging out, playing video games, chilling, doing my thing. I'm not doing a damn thing. What's going to happen is I'm going to encourage her as an hour person, but she's going to start to want to live more complacently and settle, because she doesn't want to make me feel uncomfortable, because I'm not really moving forward in my life with any goals or aspirations for what I'm trying to esteem to. So those are hours people. Who are the days? Minutes? You should be as brief as them as boxer shorts. Be as brief as boxer shorts with these people. What does that mean? These are people that I ask Mandy, what have you been up to? She tells me, and I start getting negative. Oh, wow, really? That seems like a waste of time. That seems like really hard. I mean, you're probably really tired all the time. Like, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine doing that type of job. Negative, negative, negative. She asked me what I'm doing. I'm negative again. I ain't doing nothing, Ain't nobody trying to give me a job, or like my boss is tripping. They're just this, and this. They're just complaining and they're negative. They're using you as their trash can because you're allowing this, and they're dumping this stuff on you. And now you got your own problems, but guess what? Now you got their problems too, because you done took it on emotionally. Now, I'm not telling you to cancel your family, because a lot of them people is your family members. Are you kidding me? I talk to my wife all the time. I'm like, man, I love my family to death, but there's only so much capacity I have, man. Like, and I tell them this. Like, I tell them where we're going. This is what I'm trying to do. Like, there's no beating around the bush, because I got kids. I got a legacy of children we're trying to raise, and that's top priority right now. You are grown up. You're old. You need to take responsibility for what you do, what you don't do, and how you respond to what happens to you. And if I can encourage and uplift you in any way, I'm here. But if not, if you just go and jump your trash on me, you got to put boundaries around yourself. You got to protect your peace and guard your mental property, which is what we're going to talk about next time. So understand those weeds will grow without any encouragement, but those seeds of roses take time, energy, effort, and the right environment, the right association, and the right mental thoughts that you have. Okay, so as you can see, look at my beautiful family. Look at them. Ain't they just cute? Let me talk to you right now. I'm showing off my family. So on the left picture, this is when I thought my whole why was basketball. Here I am. I'm a basketball player. This is my whole identity. I realized, okay, knee surgery, can't do it anymore. What do I want to do? Well, I want to share a message. So I started making music. This is my final and third project that I did. I think that says 2011. So damn, 10 years ago. And I love making music, but it was just, I feel like that medium wasn't letting me get the most outreach that I could have, the most impact. And I made $0 doing it. I actually lost a ton of money. And then right here, this is just my family. I'm just grateful. I'm blessed. Let me tell you who everybody is. Obviously, that's my gorgeous wife. She's right there, right next to me. She's from Guam Island, Chamorro. That's my niece, Lonnie. That's my daughter. Oh my gosh. I was going to say where everybody's like their cultural heritage, but that's Imani. That's my daughter. That's my other daughter, Avea. That's my niece, Kaya. My son, Amari. I know, only dude. It's rough for him. It's rough. I ain't gonna lie. That's my daughter right there, Amaya, and then my niece, Aaliyah. And then I don't know if you can see it. We have a little infant baby with us now. And that's Aria Ray. So my why is my family, obviously. That's the reason why I do what I do. But when I would explain to you all, when you're trying to professionally find what that is that moves and incites you and gives you that life, what is it? What is the passion? What is the purpose? And the last thing I'll share with you very briefly is what is the lifestyle? Because again, we get really uncomfortable when we talk about lifestyle because that really kind of sometimes talks about money. And people don't like talking about money. I talk about money with anybody. People ask me how much I make, how much do I do? Like, I'll tell you, I have no problem telling you that. Why would I hide that? Because I want you to be the best version of you. And what works for me might not work for you, but this is what I've done. And what people don't want to understand is you can't pay for your problems and for your bills with money don't matter. If anybody's telling you money don't matter, and look, they might not bring me back after I say this. That typically means that they don't probably have it to pay them for the resources that they need in their life. Because any people that I've been around that have been successful financially, the people that I choose to associate with that are like that do have the means and the resources, they're incredibly generous. Because I surround myself with people like that. I'm not going to surround myself with people that are money hungry, treating people poorly. Because I want to learn like money is just a resource, and having more money can be a resource to give to different organizations or to provide for your family, for the longevity of things. And being a Black man, especially, the wealth gap between Black folks and white folks, we don't even want to talk about that right now because I could do a whole dissertation on that. It's incredibly discouraging. And so my encouragement for you to understand is passion, purpose, lifestyle. Because whatever you choose to do as a career, whatever you choose, what do you decide and what you pick will have a lifestyle attached to it, the environment that you work in. Listen, I've got offered in the last several months opportunities to work for organizations where I'd make way more than I'm making in my job that I currently have for the nonprofit that I work for. But I say, I just want to let you know, before we even get any of the details, I'm not coming in the office every day. It's not how I get down. I'm a creative thinker. I'm gonna need to have an autonomy and flexibility, and I'm a relational guy. So if this works, then we can talk further. If not, and they're like, oh yeah, we would need you to come in the office every day. I was like, okay, well, it's not gonna work. I don't even care how much you offer me. I know it was way more than what I make at my organization, but I don't care about that because I know I have a business and I have other opportunities, and I'm not gonna compromise my core values and my culture and my character to just get a paycheck. So what kind of environment do you want to be in? What kind of money do you want to make? What kind of people do you want to be surrounded by? You do know that if you work in a traditional, you're working 8 to 5, 9 to 5 setting, you're going to be spending more time with those humans than you're going to be spending probably with your family. So why would you submit yourself to an environment where you don't want to be in? Like we're not forcing you to do that. So I'm challenging y'all. And I know not everybody has the same opportunities. Not everybody has the same networks. You are connected to the Goodwill services that I know one of their roles is to help you guys find job placements, employment opportunities, internships, opportunities to network. Man, ask questions and lean in. Don't settle. It doesn't mean temporarily you got to do something maybe you don't want to do to get to where you want to go, but don't ever let it compromise your character or your core values. So I believe in y'all. It's been a blessing being with you. I feel bad about the curse words. I know Talonda sent me a message about that. I apologize, but it's been much love, and I'm going to throw it back over here to Mandy. I don't know if we got time for Q&A or anything else. I'm here with y'all. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tyler. That was amazing. I love what you said about your passion, your purpose, and your lifestyle. I love the fact that you said, as far as making sure, that you don't hold yourself hostage. Those were the two key points that I definitely took down. And we have a few minutes for questions and answers, and then we'll close everything out. So if anyone has any questions, you can take yourself off of mute, or you can put it in the chat box.
Tyler, I just want to chime in and just let you know how proud of you I am. I really enjoyed hearing you on today. And my 8-year-old was here with me as well. She thought you were pretty humorous. And so thank you for being able to be flexible, and both of us can take away from this today. So just as someone has watched you from a distance, and always been one of your supporters from a distance, I appreciate being here. And again, I'm just really proud of you, and know that I'm here, again, just from a distance to keep supporting. So let me know how I can show up for you.
Talanda, oh my goodness, I appreciate that. I'm gonna hit you up after this. Thank you so much. And I'm really hoping that your 8-year-old was not here for the curse word because I felt bad about that. It just came out. But anyway, much love to you, Talanda, and your 8-year-old and your family. And yeah, the connection's crazy. You know, I've known you for over 20 plus years. And so thank you for that. That means a lot. Thank you.
Tyler, what was the name of the book again that you were showing us?
So Strength Finders. Okay, so there's I don't know if there's multiple versions, but usually I walk with this through with my young people. So my students, whether they're in high school or college, and they have one for students, and then they have just a one traditional one. And essentially what it does is it walks you through there's 34 different themes, right, that they have, and they have 4 pillars that your themes might fit under. And it will tell you, so basically like a couple of my strengths as a leader would be like responsibility, right? Because I'm not relying on other people to do things that I know I can do for myself, and I need to accept ownership. And another one is belief, which I don't know if you guys, I'm being sarcastic, but like when I believe in something, like I believe in it. So like those are 2 of my strengths. So what it allows you to do is, okay, these are my strengths as a leader. How does this articulate to the career path that I want to kind of get involved in? Do these strengths heighten that, or do they keep them kind of subdued and not let me live through those? And really what Strength Finders is about is focusing more on your strengths instead of trying to work so much on your weaknesses. It doesn't mean you don't need to improve in certain areas, right? It just means that you should put more emphasis on what you're good at, and then surround yourself or be in environments where people do things that you're not. So like for me, I'm terrible at like processes and data. Like I have no energy for that, 0. So I work really well though with other people that are like that, because I'm going to do stuff they don't want to like, they don't like, or they're not good at. And so it's worked well for me in that now that I know these things. And honestly, you know, in my last 2 like interviews or like opportunities to like to engage in situations like this, people have asked me, what are my strength finders? Like they're just assuming I've taken this, right? And so in the professional world, it can be really an uplifter and it can help like employers or other folks know like, okay, a little bit about you without having to tell them so much. So
Thank you.
yep, Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Okay,
Everything's on Amazon. Everything.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, my name is Mandy. Thank you so much for sharing today. I really appreciated your stories and listening to you. What was really cool is I actually came into this conversation from another conversation about radical self-love. And so it was really cool to kind of start pulling together some of the ideas and concepts around radical self-love and what you were talking about. And my question is, one of the ideas about radical self-love is that you have to break down the way that you interpret outside external forces and ideas. And so I was curious, how have you overcome some of those external ideas that for many people means that we end up comparing ourselves to others? How do you overcome comparing yourself to someone else and their experiences?
Oh, Mandy, thank you so much for being here. And that's a great question. I love questions. I don't always get questions. And so when I get questions, it's really fun. Okay, so comparison, let's talk about this. There's a couple of things I would like to share with you on this. First of all, there's a book that I thought I had it here, but it's in my backpack. It's called The Willpower Instinct. It's from a young professor, female professor at Stanford. She teaches the course Willpower. And that book has taught me a lot about what you just described. So The Willpower Instinct, great mindset book, great understanding like how our brain works, but like sciencey, but like storytelling. So it's not like, oh my gosh, this is hard to get through. So there's this concept called highlights and bloopers. And this is what we do, especially in a social media crazed world where we compare our worst of our worst to the best of other people's best, the highlights. Because people on social, or typically when they're sharing with you, until they really know you, they're not giving you the ugly and the bad. They're giving you the highlights and the things that they're good at. And you're seeing that on the forefront. So like right now, you guys are probably seeing me like, oh, he's funny, he's got charisma, or whatever you're thinking. I don't know. That's just things I've been told before, but it's just like, but you're not seeing like, I'm a horrible speller. If I write anything in writing form, it's going to have so many typos. Oh, so many typos, you're gonna be like, I can't even read this. This is horrible. I mean, like, so I have my strengths. And so what I've decided to do is look at my life like a vehicle. Okay. In this vehicle, you have your windshield, which is in front of you, your future and the present, what you can control, right? What you can control. And a lot of times you can't always control that because as you're driving this vehicle, there's going to be detours, there's going to be traffic, there's going to be slow times, like it's going to vary. But that's where you need to spend the majority of your time. Then you have your rear view mirrors. This is where people don't want to spend a lot of time. You need to spend time here because this allows you to see the mistakes that you've made, the successes that you've had, and just evaluate it with like a non-biased mindset of like, what did I do well? What did I not maybe do so well? How can I improve? And just try to remove yourself from the emotional aspect of it because you want to be better. And the last thing is where people spend way too much time is that comparison, which is our side mirrors, right? So you got this vehicle and you got your, you can see, oh, who's in this lane, who's in this lane. Oh, they're going faster. Let me speed up. Oh, let me get over. They're trying to cut me off. And you're so concerned about what everybody else is doing instead of staying in your lane. And that comes to the concept that like, ain't nobody thinking about you like that. And once I got like, I'm so comfortable now in my own skin because I realized like, I have a lot of love in my life from people, but like you're thinking about your situation and what you're trying to get better at, or your chaos and your challenges much more than you're worrying about what I'm doing. So once you can put yourself in a mindset that like you are an important, unique human, but everybody's dealing with their own chaos and everybody's dealing with their own trying to get better, whatever they're trying to do, and put the focus on how can I grow and be better? Because as I'm better and I grow, I can add that much more value to people. And I think that doesn't come with age. That just comes with the decision and maturity. So that's kind of where I land now, on the comparison. Like, I just love and appreciate life. I've had a lot of difficult challenges, and things that have happened that have gave me great perspective. And just like any of us on this call have all dealt with those things. And so you just put things in perspective and you just count your blessings and be grateful for what you do have, and then just work on those things that you want to improve. You know what I mean? Easier said than done, but that'd be my response to you, Mandy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tyler, really quickly, I see it here. The Kelly McGonigal is the one who wrote the book.
She has this great quote. Yes, she has this great quote that we must use the power of change to fix our. No, let me back. We must not use the power of change to fix our feelings, but instead use the power of change to fix our behaviors. And that just was like, whoa! Like all of us are out here writing out new goals and new aspirations because we're trying to feel a certain way. But then when it comes to the actionable items that gets those results, we have to change those behaviors. So it's a great book. It's a great book. I think y'all love it.
Thank you so much, Tyler. This has been really awesome. I'm going to make sure I get you guys out of here on time. I have just a few more slides to wrap up, but please join us next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Tyler will be speaking on social capital and entrepreneurship. And let me share my screen and get you guys going. Let's see here. All right. So we have here at Goodwill our Digital Work Opportunity Center, and where you can learn new trades, update your skills, and get job coaching. And it's accessible anytime. So now we have our Digital Opportunity Center, DWOC Center online. Right now we have these services available: the Financial Opportunity Center, the Military Veteran Services, Disability Services, and the ESCA program is another one that I really want to highlight. If you are living in any of those zip codes, you can touch bases with us, and they have different things that they have for you as far as financial coaching and different assistance for people living in those areas that are looking for different employment and career opportunities. We also have the Vocational Readiness Program, which is a 5-week course that goes over building your resume, math skills, and different things, and that's a 5-week course. We have the Microsoft Azure, which is a behind-the-scenes IT program, and that one is open enrollment, so that's ongoing. And the Career Readiness Program is every other month, so that will be starting up in March. And look for information on the EPA. That has classes for HAZWOPER. We don't have dates on that yet, but please stay tuned and make sure you stay connected if you are interested in that. And of course, we have the GED testing and certifications. And I spoke about the Goodwill DWalk. You can register to get information about new workshops, events, and get connected with us on self-learning type things if you register at the 56512 or go to goodwillwa.org. And you are welcome to join us every Monday at 2, also for welcome sessions where we also go over more information as far as what else is available for you. And we have the Career Hub newsletter that we send out every Monday. And in that newsletter, we have job listings in there. It'll also have information on workshops and events. Please subscribe to that. We want to make sure that we get all this information out to you as fast as we can. So if you sign up for the text messages and the e-newsletter, we can get that out to you as fast as we can and keep you connected. And as well as this workshops, we are going to have Career Hub workshops monthly, and this month is Black History and it's Voices of Empowerment. In March, we're going to be going into National Women's Month. So each month has a theme. Right now, again, connected to the newsletter or the DWalk, and you'll get more information on how to register for those events. So, like I said, this is the series. We had Erin on the 3rd. And when you register for any of these, if you cannot make it, we do send these out by email. So if you can't make it, but we would love to make sure that you are here. We would love seeing your faces and interact with you. But if you can't, for time constraints, we do send it out to you. But we just wanted to make sure that we touch bases with you and say thank you so much for attending today. We look forward to seeing you next week, and please connect with us through the text messages or the newsletter or online to stay up to date with different things that we have going on. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for attending.
Bye. Thank you. This is
Thank you,
great.
Mandy.
Bye.
This was another great session. Thank you so much for sending out the invite.
Oh, thank you.